David, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you move your mic? Do you have your mic stand thing to move closer to you?
Oh yeah, let me try that.
So on these like live things, I'm like, my makeup today, a little weird. Like right now, why do I look so orangey tan?
No, you look good. I'm the vampire today. This is my.
Is it because I'm tanner than you guys, so I look really? I'm looking at like from my phone, like, did I?
How's that? Can you guys hear me?
Hey, we can hear you now.
No, yeah, this is
Perfect.
where are you at, Lauren? Are you on the West Coast?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. See, we're Midwesterners. We got that whole pale look going on.
I look like I have like the whole like Oompa Loompa thing going on.
I do look very pale in this video.
I know. So tan. I look like orange though. It's like not good. It's not a good look, I don't think. Like,
Lauren, you look beautiful. Stop it.
Yeah. This is funny. You should put me like white. It's like a white person sandwich. Okay, I can go on now.
So, hi guys. As you're on, sorry, my dog's like, of course, goes crazy right when this turns on. So excited. I not only have Lauren here, I have David here. We just have a whole party going on Friday, and I'm so excited. So I'm going to honestly just have Lauren tell us a little bit more about who she is, what her background is. She is a part of Wholesaling Inc., correct?
Yep.
And so Lauren, just tell us a little bit about you, your background in the real estate world. Go.
Well, hey guys, what's up? My name is Lauren Hardy, and I am a virtual real estate investor. I live in Southern California. I am also Wholesaling Inc.'s coach. I am coaching virtual real estate investing. So a little bit about me and my background. So I live in Orange County, California. It's a very high-priced area. I always wanted to get into real estate investing. I really aspired to be a real estate investor, but I lived in a really high-priced area, very competitive area. So my real estate investing journey was very difficult. I had a really rough start. I started about 8 years ago. And I started as a house flipper. At that time, it was a lot easier to get deals. And it was just because mainly where we were in the marketplace, there was so much seller distress coming out of that recession we were in. So it was easy for a bit when I first got started. But after a while, it got really hard to find deals. However, I had all these friends in different states. I made a lot of friends in the real estate community that were just killing it in these other areas. And I just thought, gosh, like, why are they doing so well? And I'm struggling to do, a few deals a year. Like, is there something wrong with me? Like, am I just not, I don't know. Am I just not that smart, or I'm not that great at like taking risks? Or is it because I have kids and I'm just exhausted and I'm just not working hard enough? Like, what is it? Right. So after a while, I would say, about 3 or 4 years into my house flipping career in Southern California, I made the decision to try diversifying a little bit and doing some work out of state and just seeing how that went. And I very quickly learned that it was much easier. The amount of time and effort and marketing dollars that I spent in these out of state markets was way less than David's cat. Oh, that's funny. Was way less than the amount of time, marketing dollars, stress that I was spending in Southern California. So for a while, I was pretty diversified. I was doing some flips in Southern California, and then I was also building houses in Nashville, Tennessee. I was flipping in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was also doing some contract assignment wholesales in Nashville, Tennessee as well. So I was a little diversified for a while, kind of doing both areas. And after the market really got hot, like really hot, and it got very difficult in Southern California, nearly impossible to find deals, I made the decision to go 100% virtual. And I've been 100% virtual ever since. I currently work more Midwestern markets now. And I am now more of a wholesaler. I buy properties and I just immediately sell them to other investors. And that's what I've been doing, for quite a while now. I'd say 4 years. And in the recent time, I was approached and given the idea, hey, you should come out with a course on virtual investing because there's not a lot of courses out there. And the courses that are out there, what I am hearing is they're not very thorough. They're not very well thought out. They don't come with one-on-one coaching. So I did come up with a course and I was approached by Wholesaling Inc. to start working as a coach with them. So the rest is history and here we are today.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, so I already have some
When was
questions.
the first time you flipped? When was the first time you, was there a delay?
No.
Am I talking over you?
I'm waiting.
Go, David, go.
Go, David.
I'll ask mine after you.
That's just killing me right now.
And I might have internet trouble. It's
Oh,
breaking
yeah.
up a little bit.
Yeah, you are breaking up. You're breaking up. Okay. Well,
Oh, I'm going to go. So my first question for you is why Nashville out of everywhere? Like, so you're in SoCal. So why Nashville? Did you have like ties there or did you like research markets of where you should be going?
okay. So this is like part of virtual investing 101 is picking a market territory. So where I am today in virtual investing is a product of a lot of trial and error and banging my head against the wall and failing a lot. And Nashville, although I did have some success in there, it was actually not the best virtual market to pick because it was going through a major boom at that time. And a ton of investors, local and like foreign and out of state, were going to Nashville gobbling up properties. So it actually became almost as competitive as California by the time I was there. So I kind of left one California to another California. In hindsight, I learned that might have not been the best option. And like now I've learned from that and I wouldn't pick a market like that. But at the time, the thought was Nashville would be fun to visit. Like that was literally all I put into it. Like I love the South. Like, I just like the South. And I just thought it would be a fun place to visit. And that was it. But again, in hindsight, I've learned a few things. There are some important things to consider when you're picking a virtual market. One would be that I would stay away from the higher priced developers or flippers market where really the main end game is developing and flipping. And at that point in Nashville, it was all development and flipping. And as a wholesaler, you could try to compete there, but that just kind of shows you that there's a lot of competition. If there's an area that's kind of in the news for a big boom, kind of like Austin, Texas, like Nashville was kind of like the next Austin, Texas, it's very competitive. So you're essentially, if you're like me, leaving California, one competitive market. Like, why was I going to another competitive market? I should have picked a smaller, maybe less dense, market that maybe a landlord, like a renter's market where the rent to price ratio is around 1% or more. That would have been wise. But, again, it was trial and error. I didn't know what I was doing. There were no mentors on this topic. I was literally just figuring it out as I went. So yeah.
You were pioneering the virtual wholesaling.
I was a trailblazer. Totally.
So I guess can you tell us more about your course? Like, I'd love to get, that is like what people are needing to do now is more virtual, even if it is in your market, like there's more virtual going on. Like, so tell us about your program. Cause I honestly was trying to find it and I couldn't find it. So I'm hoping that you have a link or something that we can give people.
Yeah, sorry. So it's the link is www.wholesalinginc.com/virtual. Okay. I can give that to you. You can put in like the notes or something. But my course is really it works for beginners or people who actually already have experience. It takes you A to Z, starting from picking a virtual market, things to consider, I give you parameters of like, hey, these are things you probably want to avoid. And I tell my Nashville story and I say why. So I start with picking the market, picking target zip codes. I talk about the marketing techniques that work in a virtual market. I get into some detail and a lot of my one-on-one coaching, because the course does come with a coaching program for 6 months. So a lot of
nice.
Yeah. So my course, it's a e-course. You'll take about, it's 10 modules for now. We are adding to it, like, as you know, I feel like, it as needed, but for now it's 10 modules and it comes with 6 months one-on-one coaching. We do coaching calls every single week, several times a week at this point, live coaching calls with me. And what we mainly go through the most, I would say, in coaching calls is really just direct to seller marketing in a virtual market. And how do you negotiate deals with sellers over the phone? So my course goes over offer pricing and my theory and strategy on how to correctly offer on homes in an area that you don't know very well. And how do you do that? How do you go about doing that? I give you those tools to, so you're able to pick a virtual market and figure out what would, what offer pricing is, what our house is going for here. Because offer pricing is a big way that people really mess up when they go virtual, is they don't know what to offer and they offer low and they just make a bunch of sellers upset and they get no deals, or they offer too high and they can't move the contracts. And then they just get frustrated and they give up. Right. So my course goes over offer pricing. It goes over direct to seller marketing, how to negotiate with sellers, my script, the things that I say to build trust. So you don't have to meet a seller face to face. The seller will trust you over the phone, and you can get that contract signed over the phone without seeing the property, without meeting the seller face to face, without, schmoozing and sitting on the seller's couch and petting their cat, like all of that. You don't have to do any of that. You can, quick 15, 20-minute phone calls, you can lock up a deal. So my script is in there, the seller marketing's in there, the boots on ground, the disposition help that you're going to need there, to who you need to hire, best practices. I give you some ideas about fee splits with them. It's very comprehensive. And then from there, it's more of a like, then, what do you do from here? How to scale? Right. So, yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. I feel, so would you say that this is for like the beginner wholesaler, or should this be the wholesaler that's trying to go virtual? Like, so
I've designed the course for both. So I cover newbies and newer investors or investors with zero experience. I have worked with them, and I have a lot of my students are new. I would almost say probably the majority of them are, but I also have experienced investors that want to just expand, and not only just expand, but they want to figure out how to do this over the phone, because COVID-19 is making it where we all should be doing deals over the phone. And a lot of investors are having a hard time wrapping their head around that idea of not going on seller meetings.
Yeah, well, and David did a great thing for Deal Machine. Everyone that's a part of Deal Machine has these pre-made COVID templates that say like, we can close this virtually. And so like this totally ties into what you're doing. And like, you're right, this is what we need to do now. This is how you need people to feel more comfortable. So what would be, I guess I want people to be able to do your course and everything, but what would be maybe like the top 2 takeaways that people don't think about, like when they're doing virtual or dealing with virtual wholesaling?
Takeaways. That's a good question.
There's probably more than that.
Like, yeah, give me more specific. Like, ask me that more in a question.
So what would you need set up? Well, okay. David, you had a question before. I need to like.
No, I know. It's like one of those where that was such a broad question and I'm like ADHD, where I'm like, oh, I've got so many things I can say. Okay, I've got one. I'll tell you where people really mess up. I'll tell you the 2 areas people really screw up when they go virtual. Okay. Number 1, I kind of went into it, was the offer pricing. So offer pricing, that is the number 1, like I screwed that up. That was one part of my long drawn out learning curve, is going 6 months in a virtual territory, only closing 1 deal because I could not figure out how to offer, like what to offer the sellers. And I was just getting it wrong every time. Like I was offering way too low. And I was just thinking, God, this must be a really competitive area or something, because these sellers keep saying no. So they must, I don't know, they must have other options. So offer pricing is number one. And that's really why you need coaching, or you need some direction on offer pricing from other people that are familiar with that market. Number two is the other way people really screw up is they get a deal. So maybe they managed to get a deal. Okay, virtual. They're like, yeah, I did it all on my own and woohoo, go me, I'm so awesome. But then and say they're trying to dispo it in a traditional, like a wholesaling, contract assignment, sell it to another investor. Where they really screw up is they try to do it all on their own. So they have no boots on ground, but they try to find someone, and they find some Joe Schmo dude that doesn't even really know what he's doing. So it's kind of like the blind leading the blind. And they don't even know really what to market the house at. They're not really familiar with what that property could trade for. And they don't even have really much of a buyer's list, but they try anyway. So they go on PropStream and they pull up cash buyers and they start making calls, and they find like 3 cash buyers that actually answer their phone. And they end up selling the house for way less than they could have. And what I can teach you is that you need to stop trying to be like, don't be a hero. Like, stop trying to do it all on your own. Because everybody thinks like, well, if I let someone else in on the deal, then I'm going to, have to share my profit. Right. And I tell you that you are going to share your profit, because you're not going to know what you're doing, and you're going to trade that house for too low, or you're not going to at all. You're just going to blow the thing up, which I've seen a lot of people do too, where like that house could have moved, but they just were so disorganized, had no boots on ground. The boots on ground they had were not qualified to sell that home. So I really stress that going virtual, you need to start with JVs. You have to have boots on ground partner, and not just one, have 3 that you work with regularly to move your contracts before you even dare try to go it alone.
Thank you for answering that. I know it was so widespread. I was just like, when people, we do get a lot of virtual questions. And so it's like, because everyone's trying to flip. So it's like, do you use DocuSign? Do you, how do you get boots on ground? Do you need boots on ground? So it's like, there's so many things. And I just wondered, like, I'm glad you mentioned on those 2 things, because I feel like they're little things that you're right. Like, people think they can just do it on their own, but it's like, don't like you. I love how you said, don't try to be the hero. Like,
hero. Hero. Yeah.
David, did you have a question, David?
I was actually curious if you're locking up the house before you actually see it or get pictures, or do you just have like a questionnaire, that you go through and ask the seller questions?
Correct. I do not look at the home. We don't inspect and we don't get photos. We get the contract first before anybody gets out of their chair.
Tina says hi.
Tina says hi. Hi, Tina. Guys, Tina. This is time for you to ask questions. Again, this is Lauren. She is a virtual, do you say virtual coach or virtual wholesaling coach? How's your title?
Virtual investing coach.
Awesome.
I don't know what I call myself.
But with Wholesaling Inc., I'm putting the link up right there so you guys can also look at her course. You said it's 10 modules right now, right?
It's 10 modules right now, yes. And
yeah, she said 10.
10, and then you get 6 months of coaching. And we get, with the coaching, that's one-on-one and group, more group every week, meet online meetings, Zoom meetings. We're not supposed to meet in person. When we're allowed to meet in person, though, I'm going to open up my office to whoever wants to come, like on Fridays or something. So Woo! As soon as we can, I will totally open up on Fridays.
I love it. Yeah, this is like gold, guys. Put in your questions in the comments. Happy to ask Lauren about them so that you guys can know more about virtual and her program and everything. David, you were going to ask something. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I was actually curious if Lauren could tell us about what marketing she does, or if that matters when you're virtual.
Yeah, so that's the thing, David, is that everything works. Like, there's no difference in your seller marketing techniques just because you're virtual. It all works. So like my favorite right now is the text blasting. So marketing, seller marketing, changes all the time. Like you're always going to be adjusting your marketing strategies just depending on what's going on. Direct mail used to be a big thing, and then everybody started doing direct mail. So then we had to go to cold calling and Facebook ads and all that. So right now I'm loving the text message blasting. And I do, my text blasting through like a platform like batchleads.io, something like that. And I'm getting a lot of that's the majority right now of my deals. I'm really heavily focused on texting, but everything works virtually. You just have to appear local. You need to appear local, and remember that, so you're texting from not your California area code, guys, you're texting from the local area code.
And do you use that for your phone numbers too? Like, what do you use for your phone numbers?
I use CallRail for all my phone numbers because it's a very easy, like you can set up a new phone number in like 1 minute. So it's great.
Yeah.
I like CallRail.
I know the majority, I think, of our users use CallRail too. Tina says, hello. How should I go about finding JV partners? This is all new to my husband and I. So I would say my favorite way is Facebook. There's a lot of real estate investors on Facebook and a lot of Facebook forums. So you could go on some of the top forums, like go on the Tribe, the Wholesaling Inc. Facebook forum, or they're now calling it REI Freedom. So if you search REI Freedom, go to that Facebook forum, ask to become a member. There are thousands of members there. So you can, post, hey guys, I'm looking for somebody in, I don't know, give me a state or give me somewhere. Indianapolis.
Indianapolis. I'm looking for somebody in Indianapolis, who's a wholesaler in Indianapolis, and you'll get probably 10 replies. Or you could even go to the local real estate investment associations page on Facebook, because a lot of the local RIAs have their own Facebook page. That's an amazing place for the local guys, because the local guys will know who the main players are there. If you say, hey, I have a contract, I need help moving it. Who's a really great wholesaler that, would be open to partnering up with me? Tag a friend, and people will tag, and you'll probably notice the same person might get tagged, and that would be, a good option. I like the tagging part of it, because then that gives them a call to action to like go forward. Right. Even if it's not them, like if you don't say tag a friend, they just won't respond. But if you're like tag a friend, then they're like, oh, well, not me, but my buddy Sean is great. Right. How much is the program? I am going to have to direct you to the Wholesaling Inc. I'm not supposed to give out pricing because we could always change it, but I know right now as a COVID special, they are offering financing. Nice. Yeah. So if you go to the website, wholesalinginc.com/virtual, they will hook you up with the pricing. And if you're interested in financing, that's available too. Awesome. That's so great. Same person says, I'm new and would like to get started without a whole lot of learning curve. And you said that you do have majority of your students are that. Yeah. Starting out. Mm-hmm. A lot of my students are totally 100% new. Awesome. And then do you have people, so you can, this person's still asking, and you can get started by directly starting with Deal Machine. Do you have a lot of people in your course that like use Driving for Dollars or things like that? So I used the Driving for Dollars system when it was just Driving for Dollars. Now I know that you guys have just introduced a virtual Driving for Dollars, which I would love to hear more about. And I don't know how that works, but I'm sure there's a synergy there. So why don't you guys tell me about this new virtual thing you've got going on? Such a wonderful leeway into that. I like it. Yeah. David, did you want to show it or you want me to?
Yeah. Why don't you do it? You have it set up?
Yes. Let me see how I can. I've never had 3 people on at one time with a screen, so this is going to be.
Well, while you're doing that, I actually got the idea because one of Brent Daniels' guys actually got like a really big contract from a lead that he found on Google Street View. He had paid a virtual assistant to go like drive around virtually on Google Street View. And then they would market to it, and they were going back and forth between the Street View and Deal Machine. And Brent told me about this deal, and then that gave me the idea to make a Chrome extension so you don't have to go back and forth, but it would just let you bring up, you know, Deal Machine while you're in Street View and be able to add that property, send mail, look up the phone number, everything you do if you were actually there, but right from Street View. So that's what Elise is going to show you.
Yeah, that is amazing. That is like, you don't even need like, because I was like hiring a driver going around snapping photos. I had to pay her to do that. So now you can do, so you're saying you could do like a VA, like I could have my Philippine-based VA do this.
You could, absolutely.
That's amazing. David, you're
And
smart.
He is, and he actually, so this new, he
Thanks, guys.
updated the extension to where it's even easier than it was just like maybe 2 weeks ago. So you would just get the Google Chrome extension. It's just dealmachine.com/Chrome. It's really easy to put in, and you would log in with your own information. Deal finders, like if you hired someone, could do it as well. Then you take this little yellow guy down at the bottom and you just drop him down on one of the streets. And then this is how you just kind of virtually, I tell people just like you can put in an area code or a zip code or anything that you wanted to go to. And then if you get in front of a house, say I want to add this lovely green looking one.
Yeah.
You just space for
shade of green.
It's a good one. So I just look at the house, and then actually I may have to share my whole screen. You go up to the Chrome extension.
No, we can see it.
Oh, it's not going to pop up hold on. I got to share my entire screen. One minute, because it's going to only show me the one.
We can wait.
We got this.
I've got all the time in the world.
Lauren, how's your new office?
I'm loving it. It's
Are you moved in?
Why I'm not I'm here right now. My favorite thing is that I have a really, those Dutch doors. I'm such a girl. Like,
yes.
How cute, look how cute, guys. Look how cute my Dutch door is right now. Hold on. OMG.
Wow. I've never seen anything like that.
Isn't that cute? Yeah. It's so Cape Cod cute, this whole building. It's like adorable. And I have like the patio. The patio's all set up like they have, that bags game. They have like, like it's just cute. It's very like Cape Cod pretty out there. It's so nice. They said I could have events. So I said like that I was going to like say, hey, Friday open office. Any of my students want to come? Like we could just hang out and party on every Friday if we want over here. So it's super fun. But we're gonna I'm right now actually after we get off this call, I have to measure out furniture and kind of get it. I'm gonna set it up like a podcast studio, so I have to order furniture and do that. Still, it's right now I'm on a plastic table with my podcast equipment clamped to it, like super ghetto.
There you go.
This is so ghetto. But
hey, it's got to work for what it is. My computer's right now on top of a bin so that it's leveled up to my face. So, okay. So now you can see, but you get in front of the house, you click on the Chrome extension, and now there's this new thing where actually David has it where it gives a preview of like 5 houses around it. Okay. And it'll tell you if it's corporate owned, absentee, or owner occupied already. So all you have to do is tap the property and it's added to your list, and you can start mailers directly from the Chrome extension.
That is really cool.
You can also skip trace them.
Yes, you can also skip trace.
Built into Deal Machine?
Yeah, it's in your Deal Machine account.
Awesome. That's really cool. This is really amazing. So, and then you could, I mean, what I liked about Deal Machine is that you could you would say that you wanted to keep this home or whatever, and then later you export it to Excel.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool. And then you can put it in your platforms, like your texting platform if you want, or your cold calling Mojo dialer if you're cold calling.
Yep, you can take it anywhere.
That's really cool. Or mailers. So you can do it straight from here. You could set up a mailer and put it through Deal Machine.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I could do a live call right now to see if they want to sell. Just right here with the with the skip tracing. But
Oh,
it's like, I mean,
cool.
it's super quick. And also now, David, we have our upload feature now too. So if you have lists of properties that you want to market to and put on your campaigns that you already have through Deal Machine, you can go ahead and upload them as well. Export, upload, all the things.
That's amazing. This is a neat platform. I mean, I thought it was cool before when it was not even virtual, but just driving around taking the photos. This is crazy. This is so cool. Because before, you'd actually driving for dollars. I mean, that takes time. This is like knocking off, I mean, so many hours of your day. Now, like you could I don't even know if you've ever compared, but how many more houses can you do now, in an hour versus when you were actually like in a car doing it?
Mm-hmm.
So I do,
Absolutely.
I do virtual driving lives on Wednesdays, and I get in 45 minutes, I'll get an average of like 25 to 30 properties.
Oh, wow. Okay. 25. I'm going to write that. So 25 to 30 properties
in like 45 minutes.
In 45 minutes. And you guys do, so yeah, as a customer, your support, like you guys do lives to like, and people can just join on once a week. That's really cool. That's awesome.
Every day
at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. I come on and I'll at least do some virtual driving and then do some Deal Machine stuff just so people have any questions, we can answer them and talk about that. But you're right. Honestly, like virtual driving, I love because I pulled this little map up here. You can split screen and say, I want to I've already gone down these streets. I don't have to drive all the way to the other side of town. I can just click on a street and my little yellow guy will skip me over to there. So then I don't have to do anything else. It's so nice.
That's really cool. And another idea too, just to tell, I don't know if, what came to my head is if you do a deal or say you have a contract in an area, pull it up on Deal Machine and make sure you hit every, all the streets around it. Cause you're like, hey, I'm buying a home. Oh, hold on. Oh, look, it's my daughter who's going to probably call me over and over again. So let me notification. Hold on. She'll just keep calling. Oh God.
How old is your daughter?
I have a 6 and a 9-year-old.
Oh my gosh. Are they both girls? 2
girls. Yeah. So the thing that's funny is that they have little iPads and they're at home because they're quarantined. They can't go to school. So they're with a nanny right now and she will just keep calling on her iPad, over and over until I answer. So I have to put my computer on do not disturb.
That is so sweet though. And bless you to have 2 daughters. That's beautiful. I love it.
Thanks. But yeah, so I was saying, that would be, what really I think, helps build sellers' trust is when you say, hey, I really am buying a house down the street on Orange Lane, but I can't give you the address just out of the privacy of the seller. But hey, since we're here, I wouldn't, I'd like to buy a couple more in this neighborhood. Are you interested in selling? That would be a really great conversation starter.
That's so important. I think people get hung up. They don't know how to start the conversation.
Yeah.
I actually have a question about your course here. Do you have a webinar that can watch about your course or videos, I guess?
So why don't you guys check out my YouTube channel? I do have a YouTube channel where I've posted a lot of just kind of free information from covering all different types of topics. So you'll get to know a little bit about what my experience and my style to see if we're, a good fit. I mean, you might listen to me and think I'm annoying, or you might think I'm awesome. So I think my YouTube channel, it's free. Go to YouTube and go to This Mom Flips. There's a ton of videos there. Also, I want you guys to follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of just everything. I post when I upload to YouTube, I post there, and just a bunch of other stuff. So find me at This Mom Flips. That's my Instagram handle. I am going to be hosting the Wholesaling Inc. podcast very soon. And so kind of, subscribe to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast. There's a ton of free information. The interviews are really great. But if you do want to learn more about the coaching program specifically, I would say reach out, go to that website, www.wholesalinginc.com/virtual. There's a little video there. Yep, that's my YouTube. If you go to the videos button, there's a bunch of videos, or there's more than just that top lineup.
Look how beautiful this is.
Yeah, we're working on some templates. We're trying to mix it up a little bit, but trying to make everything pretty. That's my thing, is like everything has to look pretty.
It is pretty. And I'll put the wholesalinginc.com/virtual for.
Yeah, so that will tell you a little bit about the course and all that. So I'm going to work though with, Dave, I'm an affiliate for Deal Machine, and I do want to work with you guys more. I do want to offer something free to, people that come to me for Deal Machine or like my other brands that I represent. And there is a webinar video I have. I just have to get permission that I can use it, but it is a really awesome webinar, and it gives a lot of information out, and it kind of gets people started in their virtual journey. So
I love that. I'm so excited for you, because this is like you're getting everything. It's like, I don't know. I love Boss Babes. Like there's not a whole lot of women in the wholesaling industry. Like you don't hear a whole lot about it. You have like Christina Spells and Crystal Polite. But more women tell me like they, just want to hear about how you've grown, how you've scaled your business and how they can get there. So I love that. And you're like paying it forward. It's just so amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, this was also uncomfortable for me, like talking in front of cameras, and it didn't come natural. So a lot of my videos, I'm still getting better at it, and you'll see like the beginning videos are so bad compared to like now I'm growing, I'm evolving. I would say that has definitely pushed me outside of my comfort zone more than wholesaling and more than real estate investing, has been getting in front of cameras and talking to myself.
Oh yeah, no, David and I can totally relate to that. You should see our beginning videos on our YouTube channel and then to where we are now, because it's like night and day.
You get used to it, but it's very awkward at first.
That's why I was excited that y'all are coming on the live, because when I do it alone, it's like if no one's commenting, it's like I feel really awkward, and I'm just like, oh, are we good? Are we all good?
Oh my gosh, same thing here. When the lives, I just started doing lives, and I can't figure out how to get the comment section to pull up for some reason. Like I've been having issues with that. So for the Wholesaling Inc. on their page, I do lives like 2 times a week, and and I can't, sometimes the comments come up, sometimes they don't. And then I'll look on the actual page and there's 50 people watching saying, Lauren, we can see you. And I'm like, why can't I see that you guys are commenting?
I did that the first time I did that. I was like, okay, I guess no one's here. I'm sorry. And then, yeah, I looked and it was like 20 comments and I was like, oh God.
Did you figure out what it was?
I don't think I scrolled down, honestly. I think my problem was I just didn't scroll down. It was on Facebook. It wasn't on YouTube. And I just didn't scroll down far enough, or it was like lagging and I didn't realize it. I don't know. It was my mistake. I just needed to scroll down. So I apologize. So I was like, I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't see them.
See, and I think the point of this to tell, everybody is like, man, these micro failures, like they're going to happen every day. I do them too. There's nothing special about, me or David or you, Elise. We fail too. We screw up all the time, but we just keep doing it. We just keep going. And I think that like a lot of people that are newer to like wholesaling, they're so afraid of the micro fail. It's like they won't even start because they're like, oh, well, what if this happens? What if the seller yells at me? What if the seller does this? What if the seller does that? Or what if this happens? And, so they don't do anything because they're scared of the failures that might come from it.
I will say, and this is probably somewhat like your course, like David, when I had my marketing all set up and everything, and I needed to open a PO box, but I didn't want to open the PO box because then I knew that I would have to start sending the mail if I opened the PO box. And David's like, go do it. It's like now. It's like,
I see students do that all the time. My students, I've actually identified that most of their issues are all emotional. None of it really is like, it's not intellectual. It's not that they don't know. It literally is that they have some fear that like they're afraid of. And like one of my students literally for the last 3 lives, because I do lives just like you do, the last 3 lives, he asked me the same question over and over again about his marketing list criteria. And he wanted to review over and over again. Well, what's the list criteria you do for a vacant list? Okay, well, what's the list criteria you do for an absentee list? And he asked me the same question 3 different lives. And at the 3rd time, I finally said, you've already asked me this. This is the 3rd time you've asked me this question, which tells me that you just are so scared of doing it that you just keep wanting to like make sure the criteria is perfect so you don't really have to send the text messages out.
Mm-hmm. Because then you don't get the responses that could say no to you, that could make you feel bad.
Right.
Feel uncomfortable. And yeah, I mean, it's uncomfortable, but you know what? You guys have to get used to the feeling of feeling uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, like you don't even feel it anymore. Like it takes a lot to ruffle my feathers, a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think people really just like want guarantees, and they get hung up on the fact that, oh, if I don't have the exact criteria to the exact T, that will I get a deal for sure when I do that? And they get so hung up on those little details because they really want a guarantee. But so many people that are successful, they just go and take massive action, like Wholesaling Inc. and Tom Kroll always says.
Yeah.
That you take massive action and you learn while you're taking that action. And that's where the results come from. And, you can't get hung up on the fact that there's not a guarantee.
Yeah. That is so true. I'm actually writing that down, is that people get hung up on guarantees, because I need to tell my students that's a really good way to put it, is they really do want just guarantees.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no guarantees in life.
No. When I was in sales, I heard also, you said uncomfortable, and that like totally sparked it for me, is that someone always said, like, if you're not doing something today that makes you uncomfortable, then you're not growing as a person. Mm-hmm. And so I always had that posted up there, and I would always cringe because I'm like, I haven't done anything uncomfortable today and I don't want to, but it's like meeting somebody for the first time. It's like, things like that. It's just because you don't know, like you said, it's the unknown. But you hit it on the head when you said uncomfortable. I was like, ding, that hit something for me of why I wasn't doing something. Yeah. Okay, we do have a couple of questions here. So, how updated are the photos? If they are from Google Maps, they can be a year or more older. Yes. So, asset on the Google Maps at the bottom right, it'll say image captured, and it'll give you the date. At that point, it is kind of a gamble, but a lot of them we've been seeing have been updated within the last year. And you can add them and just see, and then you can delete them later. It never hurts to try and make sure you don't miss out on something. Josh, I wanted to get back to the virtual. There we go. Josh said, what do you use to mass text?
I use, if you go to www.batchleads.io, that is the software I use. And my coupon code gets you 50% off the first month. So if you want to give it a try, put the code TMF. It stands for this Mom Flips, like my Instagram handle. So code TMF. And that also gets you 17 cents per hit if you skip trace within that platform.
All right, I just put that in the comments for YouTube, just so you guys know. Got a good question. Do we have to ever worry about wholesaling going non-existent, for instance, becoming too saturated or competitive? I'm concerned about wholesalers being weeded out.
I mean, I have a answer for that. So real estate is very cyclical. And right now you feel that way because we are in the quadrant of the market where you should feel that way. It's very hot. It was, well, up until about 6 weeks ago. It was very hot. Prices were it felt very much like we were at the peak. An educator that I used to love following, he always said, you always know when you're at the peak of the market when your hairdresser wants to get into flipping houses. So right now, this is a time where you feel like you're hearing everybody wants to wholesale and everybody wants to flip houses. But I'll tell you what, when I first started 8 years ago, nobody really cared to flip houses. Real estate was not cool. real estate was terrible. People were scared of it because so many people foreclosed or had, foreclosures. There was so much distress in the market. So yeah, you feel that way right now because of where we are in the market cycle. In fact, my YouTube page has a video, Understanding Market Cycles, somewhere right there if you want to pull that one up. And I kind of go into that topic of just why right now is the best time to get into real estate investing. This is the time where deals are going to be made. Right now is the time to educate yourself on real estate investing. So as we see, if we do see a market adjustment, which many people think we're going to see one, given what's going on in the world right now, now is the time where deals will be made, because really the wealth in real estate investment is created at the bottom of the cycle, not at the top. So we've just been at the top for a while. I would say maybe 2-3 years we've been at the tippity top, and it did feel very competitive. So I understand that the way you felt. But if you came in 8 years ago, it was totally different. I used to be able to flip houses in Orange County. I mean, I couldn't believe that. Orange County. I could flip houses here where I lived. It was crazy. Can't do that.
Josh Allen says, yeah, I've been cold calling and I'm getting numb after a while of cold calling. And
cold calling is exhausting. I would switch to texting, because cold calling is exhausting. It's hard on your voice. It is tough.
It is absolutely. I was just talking to someone about that. I would not, I personally hated cold calling.
It's hard. I hear these guys on channels saying that they're calling 200 people a day. How is that possible, along with actually talking to people and gathering information? I think that what they're saying is they're dialing 200 a day. With systems like Mojo Dialer, you can dial 100 dials per hour. So that's probably what they're doing, is they're dialing for 2 hours a day. And you usually make contact with like 10 people an hour, maybe. So I think that was more, maybe that's what they're saying, not that they're actually talking to 200 people a day.
Yeah, I was about to say, dang.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. David, this one's kind of for you. I'll let you answer this. Does Deal Machine offer buyers lists?
No, we don't offer a place where you can download a buyer's list. What I have typically done myself is when a property's LLC owned, I'll use a buyer's postcard to see if they want to buy more properties like that. I'll turn it over to Lauren and actually have her tell us how she recommends starting a buyer's list.
Actually, I really like that idea, by the way. I just wanted to write that down. Like that is, if it's LLC owned, use Deal Machine to get send a buyer's postcard. That's really good. Okay. The way we like to find buyers is I really like to, there's a few things. I like to go on the local Facebook RIAs, real estate. When I say RIA, Real Estate Investment Association, Facebook page. And when we have a deal, I like to post the deal and direct them to my website, so they'll sign up on my buyer's list. Or like I say, put your email in if you guys are interested in this property, and they'll put their email in, and we scrape the email addresses and we reach out, we get their cell phone numbers and all that good stuff. So that's like my favorite way. Facebook has just been an amazing platform to find buyers, honestly. We do mailers, same thing. We look for all the LLC purchases in an area. Like we'll pull, maybe the county we're in, and pull all the LLCs that bought similar like homes in the last 6 months. And we mail a postcard, a buyer's postcard. That's another really great way. And then also, like, as we do more deals, it just kind of goes organically. Like we start just organically getting more buyers. Like we work with realtors. We tell realtors, hey, we'll pay you guys. Like we'll pay out your commissions if there's enough room, obviously. So we work with realtors. Realtors bring us buyers, and then the buyers start going to us directly. So like it's kind of an organic process of how you build this buyers list. Another really cool way is if you can find another like wholesaler in the area that is friendly and wants to grow together. You guys combine your buyers list. So like, hey, I show you mine if you show me yours. So that's a good way to do it. And like, honestly, like I'm down to do it. Some wholesalers are funny and like, oh, I don't want to show you mine. But it's like we're not competing for a deal. Like we both win in this, this way. So You can offer that out too. Go on the RIAs and start, working with people. Bigger Pockets too. Bigger Pockets is a great place to find local buyers in the area. So those are my favorite ways.
I love that.
That's really helpful.
Yeah, because I was going to say I've contacted people through Bigger Pockets, but so many people are saying Facebook is like the place to find them.
It is. Facebook's like big in our industry. I love Instagram. Like I feel like Instagram, I want Instagram to be bigger because I'm putting more of my effort into Instagram. But I don't know, maybe that's because I'm younger millennial. Am I a millennial? I think I'm a millennial, right? 30?
You are. Yes, you're a millennial.
I'm a millennial.
We got all millennials here right now.
Yeah.
We do.
Here's Mike. You can take this one, Lauren, if you want, or David.
Yeah. Well, I guess the first thing is I would like to hear how many people you've talked to, Mike. But then the second thing is, well, I'll see if he can respond. Mike, if you're listening, could you let us know how many people? And then the second thing is, the whole reason why somebody would drive for dollars is because they want to find deals that other investors don't know about. You can't buy a driving for dollars list. You can't buy lists of houses that look run down and distressed. So if you're actually buying lists, those are really easy to get. And if you are experiencing that other investors are talking to these people too, you need to build your own list. And that's what Deal Machine was created to help you do efficiently, is build a list of distressed property owners, or distressed properties rather. But the reason, cold calling 100 every few days. Okay.
What about what market are you in? To that person who says, Mike, what market are you in? Because everything's relative,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. These deals that people wholesale in Southern California, right? Massive checks, but it costs them three times
we lost them.
more to get those deals.
Yeah. Wait, say that last part again, David. Three times more.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously, I know, Lauren, you focus on the Midwest, but there are wholesalers that focus on those high dollar markets in Seattle and in Southern California. So like Scott Oots in Southern California, TJ Russo in Seattle, like they're doing deals and they're big deals. But what I'm trying to say is, in those markets where the profits are higher, you're going to have to spend and invest more to get those deals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry. One of my relatives just told me that the neighbor next door where he lives wants to sell his house and he has it listed. I found it listed on Zillow. If I approach him, is it possible to get it under contract?
Have you ever done a deal that was listed, Lauren?
Me?
And wholesaled it? Yeah.
Listed on the MLS. I don't work like MLS at all, but like there has been times where our direct to seller marketing goes to a house that actually happens to be under contract with a realtor, and we work with the realtor. We just say, yeah, we're interested in buying it, and the realtor represents it.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So funny, and I've never wholesaled a deal that was listed, but I've been trying to buy up my block actually. So I'm
on that block.
You do live on the block. But I just got this house that was catty corner to me because I was like, there's a ton of houses around here that have been listed for like 3 months. And like, I want to own the houses on my street. And so, cause I want to control like what everything looks like. I want to fix them up the way I'd want them fixed up. And then if I'm self-managing rentals, like I have an easy time managing it because it's right there. Awesome. So anyway, this house that was listed for 135 and it's been listed for like 3 months. He was one of the like 7 or 8, listing agents I reached out to. And I said, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I'm really interested in your house. The number you have it listed at right now doesn't work for me. but I'm a local property owner and I live 1 block away. So if anything changes, please let me know. And that way you're not offending them. And if you're actually inviting them, because they need to know who you are if you want to get one of those deals, and they need to lower the price. And so if, 6 of them said no, but this one guy said, okay, instead of 135, how about 125? And I said, well, actually, no, I need to have $90,125. And then he said, okay. And so he's like, do you want to write the contract or do you want me to write the contract? And I was like, you can use your contract. That's fine. So he was the listing agent. I don't have an agent. He wrote the contract up. The title company said, David, do you want to assign this? So if I wanted to wholesale it, it would have been that easy. Just saying yes to the title agency, I would like to assign this. And they would have requested like an amendment to the contract, and we would have wholesaled a deal from a realtor. So I didn't even realize it was that easy. But once I got to it and they asked me the question, then I realized that's how you would do it.
Oh yeah, I do use realtors for one of my territories. We list almost all our homes, our contracts. We list them, and we work with realtors because we had to. Just this territory is real funny. They don't have a strong investor presence. They don't have a strong wholesaler presence. So like to your question is that guy asked, are there such thing as unsaturated markets? Yeah, there are. And what's funny is then you run into the opposite problem where you can't move the deals as easy because there's not enough wholesaler activity. So there's not enough like buyers out there. So we have that issue in one of my markets. And so we've had to actually like list our contracts. And it is something that you have to make sure it's legal to do in your state. You check with their broker and you have to find a listing agent willing to do it. But it is something that, you can do. And yeah, our title company handled everything. Like we just disclose it. Like this is a contract on this home. We disclose it even in the listing. So.
Lauren, I know that we had you only on here for a half an hour and you've been on here for 56 minutes. So I really, really appreciate it. Do you mind answering just these last two that are strictly to you? And
sure.
I just don't want to take up more of your time because I know it's precious. But Lauren, will you? Well, I think you've already answered this one. But will you offer a course at an affordable price? It sounds like they are having a special right now.
Yeah, they are. They're doing financing, and I would argue that my course for what you get is very affordable. Compared to like what else is out there, the value.
Yes,
for sure.
I will put that up again for you guys so you guys know too. I'm actually going to just pull it up here again so everyone can see it.
That's my YouTube.
And then it's wholesalinginc.com/virtual. And then Lauren, are you strictly a wholesaler flipper or do you buy and hold also?
Right now, I'm a wholesaler and flipper. I don't buy and hold, but that doesn't mean I don't plan on it. I just want to see the market go down a little bit. I want to see what happens in the future.
Strategies.
I got a strategy on that.
Mike says, thanks for the feedback and sounds like he needs to sign up and go virtual. And he's in Washington. What the Text Blast site name again? Can someone put in the comments? What was it again, Lauren? I'll put it in here.
www.batchleads.io. BATCH lead.io. Okay. My code is TMF, like Tom, Mary, Frank.
Tom, Mary, Frank.
Or this mom flips.
I love that. And I think you're doing a great job with branding your YouTube channel.
Thanks. They're trying to get me to change it to like virtual, like the virtual investor. And I'm like, no, my Instagram handle has been This Mom Flips for like however many years. I'm not changing it.
Hey, that is the OG right there. You gotta just keep it.
You can't.
But feel free if you need to leave. That's okay. I just wanted to. I appreciate you so much for being on here.
No, thank you guys so much. I do have to run. I got a Wholesaling Inc. commitment, but thank you guys so much for having me. I really had a great time doing it. Anytime you want to bring me back, bring me back.
Yes,
we'll have to bring you back soon.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you, Lauren.
Bye, Lauren. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Guys, I'm gonna have David. I know that you're super busy too. If you need to leave, you can. I just want to answer some of these deal machine questions.
Yeah.
So I had Ashley. Question for Deal Machine. Why do y'all encourage the number 200? Is this number of mailers that prove success for a deal? Do you want to take that, or you want me to?
Yeah, I'll take it. Nice to meet you, Ashley. And we always encourage people to add at least 200 properties and mail them at least 3 times each. So that would be 600 total mailers that we have found prove success for a deal. So again, there's not a guarantee. There's a lot of factors, including your ability to close a deal. But the problem most people face is they don't do enough because they don't have any type of number to go off of. So they add 20 properties and then they give up. And so what we do is we're giving you this as kind of like a average, if you will. And it's to actually give you a goal to work towards to give you the best chance of success. And that number is at least 200 rundown properties, and send mailers 1 time to each owner over the course of 3 months, every month.
Yes. And if you have any more questions about that, Ashley, please feel free to also chat us or go to our Facebook community group for you guys. We love to have everyone collaborate and hear what successes they're having. Okay. So then we have, what is the average number of contacts we should be targeting via Deal Machine per day to lock up 1 property per month? So
great question. You can do this as fast as you have time to do. My goal, I mean, you can add 30 properties in an hour. It depends on what neighborhood you're in, but we actually have this budget planner, and I want to ask Elise to post that into the chat. And it lets you say, hey, my goal is to get 2 deals from Deal Machine. And it works backwards, how many properties per week you'd need to do. But basically, aim for that 200 properties in your first 2 weeks, and then keep going. Add another 200 in the second 2 weeks. So by the end of your first month, you've got over 400 properties in there. And then you've just got to wait for those mailers to go out. Over the course, those phone calls are going to start coming in with those kind of numbers. And you want to keep adding as those phone calls come in. You're front loading the work now for the paycheck you're going to receive 90 days from now.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up here on the screen too. So if you want to go ahead, you can, let's see. Oh, here, our people, same person. Let me find this.
Well, I'm not sure what higher end purposes. Oh, higher end properties. I misread it. Yeah. So if you're in a nice neighborhood, find the house that's got a little bit of peeling paint, or the bushes that haven't been trimmed in 2 years. Obviously, you're not going to have like an arson house in an A-class neighborhood that sits around for years and years. So that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for little things that make it seem like the owner's not taking the same pride as the rest of the block, or there's something about that house that doesn't seem quite as nice as the rest of the block. When you see it, you'll know it. You know, maybe the mailbox is stuffed full. So when you're in a nicer neighborhood, look for little stuff like that. Another example is like they've got a bunch of green mossy mold growing on the whole side of their house siding, you know, and the rest of the neighborhood's pristine. That's the house that I'm adding.
Yeah. You're welcome, GGJ. Sorry, guys, my computer's kind of lagging. All right, here is that budget sheet David was talking about. I will share this in the chat, but let me zoom in this a little bit. But you can put in how many properties you want to close a month with the average contract or assignment fee, and it'll tell you how many average properties or how many properties you should be adding per month.
Right.
And I will put this link in there for you.
Thanks, Elise.
David. Yeah. I don't have a website yet, and so I heard Deal Machine offers landing pages. Is that so?
We have a place to put your URL on your postcard, but I don't have a landing page at Deal Machine. I do have a landing page with Carrot, and I put that URL, lecoproperties.com, on my Deal Machine postcards. And so that may be what you were hearing is we've got a place to put your website link. So that way it shows on all of your mail, and every seller can actually check your website out that's receiving your mail.
And you may have also heard, we have a landing page, but it's for collecting deal finders. It's not for, I think what you're talking about, but that might have been what you might have heard before, is the landing page that we offer.
Oh yeah, that's.
Can we mail one at a time? You certainly can. You can. I will show you. You can. There's a button inside each lead that you can just send one mailer. You don't have to put it on repeat. We suggest it because consistency is key. And not that I think that you would forget, but the reason why David made this app is because he did forget. So, and I've forgotten with doing handwritten letters before. So you can mail one at a time, and you can set that up in Deal Machine. And I can pull up my account so I can show you guys. What is the keyword to use to look for buyers list on Facebook? David, do you have anything with that? RIAs, that would be what I would think.
Was he asking how to get buyers from Facebook?
Yeah, like what's keywords to use to look for buyers on Facebook? I just think RIA.
I think that you get a house and then you throw it in these groups and then you see who responds.
But not the Deal Machine group, because we don't promote our own. We don't solicit our own properties.
You would do it in like a Tampa, Florida yard sale group, Tampa, Florida real estate group, Tampa, Florida. I guarantee you there's like 8 Facebook groups dedicated to selling stuff in Tampa, Florida. So you post it in all those, you post it on Craigslist, put a picture of the house, details of the house, and then everyone who responds that ends up being serious, you now have added to your buyers list. That's what I would do.
All right, I'm adding this. Really quick, I wanted to show you, Dave, how to kind of just, and for everyone, to customize your mail. If you're going through, say, I've already searched through all these properties and I know these are what I want to market to, and these are all pending approval. I go up to this little 3 vertical dots, and then I can select all deals, and then I edit mailing options, and I can just pick one template. If you turn, this will be on or off. You can say repeating mail, turn off repeat forever, and you can say you want to send it like twice. Sorry, it's blocking that, so I will do this. So down here at the bottom, you can control how many times you send that mail each time. And then you would just have to click edit all deals, and then it'll edit all of those for you. And you can actually start all of them at the same time as well, so you're not having to click through individually to start mail. Morris, hi Morris. Elise and David, very excited today. Just got first deal finder driving for me here in San Antonio, and I'll soon have a deal finder driving for me in Virginia. Yay, congrats, Morris.
Nice.
I'm so excited to hear how that goes. Make sure when you have deal finders, you're giving them goals to hit every week, so that way they're consistently adding properties for you. That's a big thing. Is it absolutely necessary to get the phone numbers, or is the mail out effective enough?
So it like Lauren said, everything works, but what you need to do is you need to be very, very, very consistent with whatever you pick. So if you have the time to be consistent and the system to call everyone consistently, call them. But if you don't, press the mail button on every single house that you're adding to Deal Machine, and that's the way to go. And we've got the numbers that you need to hit. 200 plus properties, mail them 3 times each at a minimum. That's where you want to get to as soon as possible. So again, if you're in a cold call, make sure you've got the time to be consistent with that, because otherwise it doesn't matter what you do, but you've just got to be consistent.
And you're very welcome. Thank you guys for all you do. Great content. Thank you for tuning in, everybody for tuning in. We love having our Deal Machine fam with us since we are all so separated. This is a great way to connect with you guys and to answer your questions, because we want you to succeed with Deal Machine. Ashley's back, and she's asking, when driving for dollars with the app open, if the preview template doesn't show the picture of the property I snapped, can I safely hit start mailers and trust the photo I took will be attached?
No, the preview is what's going to be printed. So maybe try hitting, if you've uploaded a photo and it's not showing on the preview, maybe reload the preview, which is a button. And you want to make sure that that preview looks exactly how you want it mailed, because that's what's going to be mailed. Great question.
Yeah, great question. Also, a lot of people, if you have the street pick, you should, it will populate if you have it turned on. I can show you really quick. If you have it turned on in your settings, it will auto-populate to be put on right down here. So say you're virtually driving for dollars. If you make sure this is switched on, so it's auto-populated in your list. So those go out without blank pictures. Cool. And Ashley, you are very welcome. You're very welcome. We're so happy to help. And then we got, this is the last one. We're going to head off after this. But in order to put boots on the ground, how do I hire if I have made no money? How do I keep boots on the ground on hire until I start making sales?
All right. So I think you're asking this because Lauren said get boots on the ground. And she's not here to say exactly what she means, but what I believe you should be doing is you need to actually build relationships with other wholesalers. You're not hiring them. You're building a relationship. Even better, don't even worry about it until you've got a deal. So once you've got a deal under contract or nearing getting it under contract, get it under contract, and then talk to the top 3 wholesalers in the city that it's in. So you'd Google sell my house quickly, Jacksonville, Florida. Talk to the 3 top search results that come up. I guarantee you they'll be willing to partner with you on your deal. And they'll tell you if the price is wrong. And they may even buy it directly from you. So I don't know exactly what Lauren's system is, but that is exactly what I have done here in Indianapolis when I had a deal early on that I didn't know how to price it. I reached out to Simple Wholesaling, who's one of the top 3 wholesalers here in Indianapolis. And then I said, what do you guys think about this property? I've got it under contract for XYZ. And then they're like, hey, no, we need, what I'm seeing on this property is about $3,500 less. So you need to go back to the seller and make sure that you get it at this price. And then they'll even buy it from you or partner, but I guarantee you that those people are want to add deal volume, and you don't need to hire anybody. It would be a JV.
And then Morris says, you guys are awesome. Thanks. You're awesome.
Morris,
thank you guys so much. I'm so glad that you guys
way to bring them on. Is there ever a way on StreamYard to bring people on?
No, Zoom would probably be the only
okay
way to do that. But we'll have a webinar next week. Mm-hmm. So make sure that y'all are looking out for those emails. We're doing them every other week with some great people. We had the Polites on last week. So just look out for those as well, because David does do a great job bringing people on. You may get featured, so make sure that you're prepared. But thanks, David, so much for being on here and sticking around to answer some questions. And everyone, thank you. And we will see you Monday. I'm going to be talking to actually the owner of Simple Wholesaling that David just mentioned, and it will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's a little different. We're not doing 2 o'clock. So just be aware of that. And we have a Deal Machine fam downloading the app now. Welcome.
Welcome.
If you need anything, reach out to us through the support. We're there to help you. And also feel free to join our Facebook community group. Thanks for answering my questions. You're very welcome. And just subscribe to our channel. Also check out David's channel, David Lecco. He gives more REI advice because he is a real estate investor here, active. As you can tell, he bought another house. We're up to what, 9 now, David?
Yeah, it's coming.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks so much and have a great weekend. Stay safe.
Bye, guys.